mentioned that she just thought, why are they are so vulnerable and so on. But on the contrary, it was I thought that oh they are so sincere and so and I think in this session we just get closer with others and yeah. As Lia mentioned that the Mandala session was the most memorable for me too.
Thank you, Lisa. So the reflection meeting that Lisa and Nikita mentioned just concluded like last week, and many of you here actually are part of it as well. And with Ruya, it's a reunion of sorts. So can we give a round of applause for all? And so now we'll just open up the floor to maybe maximum 2 questions, 1 to 2. Does anyone have any question for them?
Question.
I'm curious to know for each of you what was the most challenging part of reporting the story?
I can go first. Actually, this is also one point of when I think about the connection that I made during the fellowship. I think that's one of the precious moments as well most challenging moment. It's basically how to navigate my own emotion while reporting. Because I think a lot of our work involves a lot of personal, emotional contact. So I still remember, actually the photo is there behind the story one. The photo of mine was the scene that I was doing my first interview when I went to interview the women migrant workers in northern Sri Lanka. And that was 10 a.m. in the morning, we just sat. And the interview has not started. And she just, the moment she sat there and she started crying. And I also started crying. I didn't even understand what she's saying. She's speaking a different language. But then my emotion just related to her and I started crying. And I feel that's a moment that, you know, I'm not professional enough, I should not do that. But it's just very challenging for me to actually get into, you know, the professional mood. But then I think after finishing the interview, I went back home and I was just listening, I was just reading the transcript of the translator provided to me. And then I was just reminding myself, this is not just a personal story. What I want to highlight is the systematic oppressive force behind the story. So I think that's how I resonate to myself, that, you know, how I deal with my personal emotions, how I make sense of that emotions. Thank you.
I think my partner and I agree that Chhattisgarh was one of the most, I think it was a difficult reporting assignment for both of us. From deciding when to go, to the safety aspects of not just ourselves but also the people around us. Covering conflict, like I have covered conflict, but I think this was very different considering how active it is and how it could impact so many people. To navigate all of that, we did take a lot of risks. That was discussed in the reflection meeting as well. But I think that was also a learning curve. Going there, traveling, it was not easy. Like I feel like because the people made it easy for us, for sure, but to navigate the ways, to find, there were so many stories. I don't know how we managed to narrow down so many things, so many photos, so many people that we've spoken to, and coming back, going through all the materials. I think after coming back from Chhattisgarh, two of us we were just like on a very different tangent. We were always on call. Like, I think I've been changed. What is happening? I can't eat anything. I can't sleep. And to write those stories was another challenge. To decide which photos will go, to edit them. I mean, all of this was very challenging, worthwhile, fruitful, and I hope that these stories reach where it should. And because those people are still there, and and they trusted us with those stories, and we just wanted to bring those out, you know, for the trust that they have invested in us.
I think that for me the challenging part was when I was writing my articles. I was afraid being partial or biased towards women, and make, I don't know, impose my thoughts to this woman because in rural areas of Pakistan, especially in the villages, the thinking of feminism is really different, and that's why I wanted to just show their point of views, not imposing my views, and this part was challenging. And secondly, it was a little difficult for me to collect some data because, for example, data about feminism and related to feminism was really, scarce in the official sites of my country, and yeah, this part was challenging.
Thank you so much. It's interesting that all of you mentioned the challenges of balancing between not just completing the assignment, right, but also balancing between the personal struggles and the professional ones. And in that way, that's actually why we wanted to do this exhibition. It's to highlight beyond the bylines, like how is it like to, it's not just about ticking a box to complete an assignment, but it's, what goes into that process. And yeah, do we have any more questions? All right, thank you so much. But before we go, I have a couple of announcements. Tomorrow we'll have another round of feminist conversations featuring other journalists as well. Some of you will be speaking at the same time at 11. And after this session as well, behind here we have a digital security clinic. It's run by Access Now, and the next session will start at 1 o'clock and also 9:30 a.m. every morning. So do check them out to find out how you can also secure your devices. And finally, we have, before we allow you to exit, I'd like to just quickly run through the exhibition with you. So we want you to interact as much as you can with all the materials. At the front, you have Meet the Media Fellows, where you can play around with the cards and read about who our Media Fellows are, all 30 of them. And you can also watch the screen behind the scenes, like what goes on and during our meetings and meetups, and also the photos that goes on during assignments. There's the featured stories that are on the wall and also the box towers. And on your right, you can also listen to some podcasts and watch the documentaries produced by our Media Fellows. And we'd like to now invite all of you to come together to this wall and the wall behind to write messages of what kind of stories you'd like for us to cover in a feminist world. How can we build a feminist world with all stories and also in line with the ABFF team.
Okay.
So thank you so much for attending our conversation today, and please come forward to write your messages. Thank you.
Messages about?
And
About what story you think we should cover for
throughout all 3
feminist
days of the ABFF, so you can also come by anytime. The Infocoms team will also be here if you want to speak with us. Thank you. And for the journalists, today at 2 p.m. we'll have a meet and greet. An informal one, just gathered here, meeting each other and yeah, socializing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is lovely. So what you gonna write?
For showing support.
Okay.
This one is for what stories.
Okay, what story?
Image our word stories about feminist building you want to see. What stories you want to see?
Dear Media Fellows and also everyone who
Our refugees.
thank you so much. We will have a group photo
We have
with
right
our
here.
photographers and videographers here. Please go in front. After our feedback, what we want to see in a feminist world building as women journalists, we will have our group photo. Thank you.
It's too big. हाँ लेगा वीडियो.
Look at some of your photos.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know it's Emara. It was a part of the interview. Oh, okay. Sorry. So we're having
Here you can show your support message to other journalists who are facing different issues in the region and
don't lose heart. Be encouraged. तो जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम. ये हमने सपोर्ट दिखा रहे हैं मीडिया फेलोज़ को और ये मेरे आइडियाज़ हैं जो मैंने बड़े अजीब व गरीब तरीके से लिखे. एंड दिस इज़ माय गुड फ्रेंड्स. हर नेम इज़ Mathmali and Lulu. Okay, you're Lulu. Yes. Oh, you're Lulu. She's Mara, and Mara is also one of the brain behind this all.
congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You please join the group photo. We will
Oh
have
yes,
one.
yes, so